Hey everyone, I am Lucas from Aussie Gamers Express, and today I'm bringing you an unboxing and a review video of the ASUS Transformer 3 Pro. Alright, so let's get stuck into the unboxing. Now we've got a keyboard here which is a detachable accessory for this computer, and I believe it does come with the computer as standard, and it's a must, and that'd be why it does come with it. Whereas a lot of devices like this, an extra like that's going to cost you. So it's good that it does come along with this one. So let's get the box open and have a look. There's the computer there, the Transformer 3 Pro. We'll put that aside and we'll make sure we have a look at that at the end. And inside here we've got a warranty card and a user guide. Never really that exciting. We'll put them aside. Now the important part that makes everything work is the power cord. So this here is it's a bit of a brick on the actual plug, but not halfway through the cable, which I prefer. And let's unravel this and have a look at how long it is. Alright, so we've got, I estimate about a 2 meter cable, which is good. That's good length on it. And we've got a USB Type-C kind of power connector there for the actual charging. Put that aside. Last thing in the box, but not least, is our stylus. So let's put the box aside there. And we've got a stylus there that has 2 buttons on it. I'm assuming left and right click, but I've never really used a proper stylus before, so we'll give that a bit of a go in the next part of the video there. But let's bring back the computer itself. Alright, let's see if we've got some juice in it. We'll hold the power button down and see if it turns on. Yes, alright, she's turned on. Now just quickly, while this turns on, I just want to mention this has got a 3K display on it. We've got an SSD drive. I'll cover off how big it is a bit later on. And we're also looking at 8 gigabytes of RAM as well. So there we go, we've got it booted up. Nice, crisp, clean screen, and we'll try putting this the keyboard on. Let's have a look at how this goes on. There we go, it goes on nice and easy. There's a glaringly obvious issue here, which, like a normal laptop, they've usually got sort of hinges on it that will stop this from happening. Whereas on this one it doesn't, because it's a detachable thing. But there's a little stand on the back which will come out, which I think goes to about 170 degrees, which means the thing's basically going to lay down almost 180 if that's the way you want to use it. And for normal use, we've got that there. So there you go. That's how you set it up. And of course you can use it just as a tablet by removing the keyboard altogether and pop it on your lap, or use it however you would like to use it. But anyway, that's the unboxing portion of it, which is nice and quick. We'll go into a little bit more detail in the next part of the video. Thank you for sticking around this far. Okay, now we're up to the review portion, where I'm going to take a look at the tech specs and the little bits and pieces of the ASUS Transformer 3 Pro that make it stand out from the rest, and what I think about it. It says here that it's the world's most versatile PC. It's powerful, convenient, and expandable. Powerful, it's pretty good for what it is. It is convenient. I like the fact that it's a tablet PC with a removable keyboard. And expandable, that's an interesting part that we'll get to a little bit later on. So let's go into the next bit, the first part that we're going to talk about. Okay, the first thing that we're going to look at is the craftsmanship of this here computer. Now, it is made out of a premium grade metal, and pure beauty is the catchphrase they use here on the tech specs on the website. And I tend to agree, it looks really nice. Now this particular model is like the goldy, bronzy sort of color there. I would probably prefer more of a gunmetal gray or something like that. But it definitely looks good. It looks nice and rugged. It feels nice and feels like it's not going to fall apart in your hands. It doesn't have that plasticky feel that a lot of laptops generally have. So it definitely has that that feel of a quality finish that really does make it stand out. The design, I mean, it's fairly standard, the actual shape of it being kind of squared off on the edges and things like that, but it still feels nice to hold and feels like it's made out of good quality. So let's move on to the next part. Alright, so the next part we're going to talk about is View It Your Way. Now talking about the stand that is on the back side of the computer part, the tablet PC part, where it has a 155-degree hinge on it, which basically means you can lay this thing right down depending on what angle that you're trying to view it from. Now I found it quite handy in most positions. It's really easy, as you can see, set up on the desktop like this, sitting up like a normal laptop. Or if you're going to be sitting on a lounge, you might want it in a different position. Or if you're in a car, pulled over to the side of the road, of course, you may want it in a different spot. Or you can sit it up in really any sort of way that you need. So having that hinge go right around, it does make it very easy to work out a position for it depending on where exactly you are using this. Being a mobile designed computer, it's very important to have this kind of versatility when it comes to where you can mount it and sit it. So that is a good part of it, and it works really well, and it feels like a sturdy set of hinges as well. It doesn't feel like it's wobbly or going to fall, or won't take much abuse. It feels like it's a good quality design there. Alright, so we'll move on to the next section that we're going to talk about. Alright, so up to the display. Now, something that I was very surprised at. Now, sometimes hard to pick real high resolutions on smaller screens because they all tend to look nice because they're a lot smaller. But this one actually has a 3K display, which is 2880 by 1920, which is amazing. Now, it's not to say that you're going to be running everything in 3K, but you can if you wanted to. So the option is there, the resolution is there in the screen, which basically means that it's going to be nice and crystal clear. You're going to be able to see on-screen text like this one. It may be a little bit degraded through the video that I'm recording at the moment, but looking at it with my own eyes, the text is crisp and clear, easy to read, high contrast, which is nice. But also you'll be able to watch movies in a nice, crisp, clear detail as well. So the screen is very vibrant, clear, and has really good resolutions up to 3K. Right, so we'll move on to the next part now. Alright, so now we're up to the nuts and bolts of this computer, and what comes with this one is Windows 10 Pro, which in my opinion is one of the best operating systems that have come out of Microsoft to date. Works really well, it's fast, and it's very accessible for all different platforms, whether it be touchscreen devices like this one or normal desktop. So it goes real well with this computer. Now it says here up to Core i7. This particular model has the i5 processor in it, and this is the T303UA as in the description. This one is a Core i5 Intel CPU and has the 250GB SSD hard drive, which is super fast. The boot up times are amazing. And particularly moving over here to the Thunderbolt 3 40GB connection. So that port is on the side of the computer, which has a really neat feature to it, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this video. But that is also in company with a USB-C Type-C plug, which means you can get up to 10 gigabits a second through that port given the right connection. So that's pretty impressive that it has those features on board, and I really can't wait to talk about this Thunderbolt 3 port, which is really cool. Okay, so now we're going to talk about this part, which is what I was really looking forward to mentioning, where you can connect a Republic of Gaming XG Station 2, which will give you extra power for gaming. Now, this is not a gaming PC. It's not going to be designed to give you amazing top-end graphics and performance out of a high-end video game. That's not what this computer is for. However, those PCs can be rather large and expensive. If this is something that you want for every day-to-day use, but you do like to play video games, the ROG XG Station can connect through the Thunderbolt 3 connection, which has a super fast 40 gigabit connection, which gives you the ability to use this add-on, which will give this computer the power to play VR gaming in 4K, and also gives you the power of a GTX 1080 NVIDIA GPU. So if you do connect one of these XG stations through the Thunderbolt 3 connection, you're turning this tiny little tablet PC into a fully fledged gaming rig, which is amazing. So that is something that is sold separately, but will turn this thing into an absolute beast. So if that's something you want to do, that'd be good to take away with you so you can get some quality gaming in. Okay, so next let's talk about the connectivity of the Transformer 3 Pro. Now this one, it has your USB 3 connection, so you've got something there that's going to have decent speed. You've also got USB Type-C 3.1, which also doubles as your Thunderbolt 3 connector, which will give you very, very fast transfers. That is also your charging port as well, so that's covered in there. HDMI out, and it is a full-size HDMI port, which means no mucking around with smaller cables, straight into your TV or whatever it is. Audio jack as standard for plugging in your headphones, which is quite simple, and then we've got the volume up and down buttons, as you can see there on the screen. It has a micro SD card slot for using memory cards from phones or what have you, transferring files, which is really neat for that to be included. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about the battery life. Now they claim all-day performance. Now this is always something that you need to take with a grain of salt, because it of course depends on what applications you're running. If you're using this to do for word processing or data entry or something like that, yeah, it's probably going to last you all day. If you're watching videos and movies, it's very far from an all-day device and you're only going to get a matter of a few hours. If you're playing video games, depending on the quality of that game, the high-end spec of it, if it's using 3D rendering and things like that, it's going to reduce it down to a matter of a few hours. It depends on what you're using it for. If you're browsing the internet, if you're watching YouTube videos, you're going to get a fair bit of life out of it, but just be warned, it really does depend on what you're doing. The fast charging though, you are going to get it charged pretty damn quickly, and that's all to do with the USB Type-C charging there. It is nice and fast, and it gets it up to a very workable condition in only 50 minutes. And that I have put that to the test, and that's about right. Within an hour or so, you're going to get most of the battery charged. Now, the keyboard that is included with this computer is actually pretty good. It's one of the better ones that I've used for a tablet designed computer, and for a couple of reasons. I like how they've got the two different positions that the keyboard can sit in and how easy it is to remove. Also, it's something that I don't really see too often in these disconnectable keyboards for tablets, is that it's backlit. So that it's drawing power from the computer and backlighting the keys, which is really nice, because when you're using something that is mobile, versatile, like a tablet PC, you're going to be in all different places and you can't guarantee a light source. So it's good to have backlit keys, makes it really easy to see, and they look nice with that white black light. Okay, so now we're going into the stylus and camera section of this video, and the rear camera on this computer is a 13 megapixel camera and is okay. It's nothing terribly amazing, but let's just let it, I'll show you the results. Low light, it's generally very grainy and doesn't look too good. And in sunlight, direct sunlight, where there's plenty of light there, it looks okay, not too bad. And as for the video quality as well, it's probably not something that you're going to be wanting to be shooting with if you want high quality standards. For things like Skype and video calls and all that, it's more than to the task, but yeah, not too fancy for that. Now there is a camera on the front of the computer, as you can see on the top here, and there's also a separate camera which is infrared, which is specifically for facial recognition. I'll show you how that works in a moment. The front-facing camera is of low quality and doesn't really impress too much, but that's really only going to be used for video calls, so I won't go into that one too far. Now, the stylus, it is pretty good. It works really well and it's easy to use. I'm left-handed, and that's a big thing. It's a pen, so it makes absolutely no difference if you're left or right-handed. So that is tested. It's good that it doesn't have any specific left or right-handed grips on it, but it works really well. Look, I'm no artist. Have a look at some of the things that I've created using the ASUS stylus, and you make up your own mind on whether I should continue as an artist or a reviewer. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how the facial recognition works. Now I've set that up today and given a bit of a try. I'm pretty impressive on how quickly it works. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lock the computer right now. So that's now locked, and I'm moving out of the way because I don't want for it to see me. So now it can't see me and it's looking for me. Now you might be able to see the infrared lights flickering there because it's obviously using that infrared, so this can be done in low light or dark areas. And if I just sit in front of the computer, it's going to make sure it's me, say hello, and then it'll log in. So there we go. So if somebody else, if you step away for a moment, somebody else tries to use your computer, they're not going to be able to log in. However, if you're sitting in front of it, it's going to unlock pretty quick for you. So there you go, that brings us to the end of this video, and this has been a review for the ASUS Transformer 3 Pro. And if I were to say what I think of this computer, I say it's very capable. It's definitely something that is versatile, it is convenient, it's not very powerful. I have done some testing with the Rocket League and Rise Son of Rome, which I haven't included in this video. However, it does run both of those games. Rise Son of Rome, even on the lowest setting, doesn't really perform too well. And Rocket League, not being so demanding, can run at very low settings and run at a decent 30 to 60 frames a second. So if you are looking for a gaming computer, you're gonna need the attachment extra to plug into the Thunderbolt 3 port. Beyond that, this is going to be a jack of all trades, master of none, but very good for versatility. Not a bad computer, and that's a nice keyboard that comes with it as well. So now I haven't covered everything in this review. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments section below, and I'll answer them as the best I can. If you have enjoyed this video, then please give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe to Aussie Games Express. And until next time, I will see ya.